Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I'm working in my TN about the books that I read, and this is the book I'm featuring today. It's called When All Is Said by Anne Griffin, and I absolutely adored this book. It sounds cliche, but I laughed and I cried and there was just so much good about it. And I love the fact that the main character is an older Irish gentleman. And I love all things Irish, so that's what originally attracted me to it. But oof, when the story gets going, it's deep. So if you're going to read this, I would say look it up first on Goodreads or Amazon, read a review, and prepare yourself because you will laugh. There are great, comedic parts in it, but it's also likely you will cry. It's pretty deep, and whew, there are parts that really hit me in the feels. So be prepared if you read it. I highly recommend it. But now let's do a layout for it. So when I looked through my papers that I have that are made to fit this size, I didn't have anything in these colors that I liked. So I'm going to have to get creative and do something else, and I'm going to start with this. I just had an extra strip of paper in a bag that I keep that's all kind of scraps and things that are specifically meant to be used in a TN, because I don't like to use super nice stuff in here. I know eventually this will likely get thrown out. I'm not going to keep it forever, so I don't want to use really nice stuff. So scraps work just fine. So I think I'm going to start with this one and probably put it on this outside edge maybe. I don't know that I like the look of it here. Well, maybe I do. Let me think about that. But either way, I'm going to use the majority of this kind of as my base color. And then I'm thinking maybe I'll just work in one other color, some embellishments here and there around the page, and leave the rest for journaling because I do have lots I want to say about this. So I did trim this a little bit because this must have been part of a larger piece of paper, I think. There was something along the edge there that I didn't want, a little bit of a different pattern, so I cut that off. So now this is perfect. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip this. I want the edge to be uneven, so right about maybe here. Just do that. It'll still work no matter if I place it on this side or this side, so at least I have that done. Now I'm going to see if I can find something else that will match with this. When I went into my stash, I found this. This is an old mat from a mat stack collection of some type from Creative Memories from years and years ago. So it's more of a solid on this side, pattern on this side. I actually like the pattern here. It's a lighter shade of the background here that's in this photo, but I like it. So I think if I'm going to use it, obviously I have to cut it down, but then I think somehow I will have to layer with the yellow being closer and then this on the outside, because otherwise these two next to each other, that doesn't work. So I cut down this paper. That's how it originally started. And I didn't measure. I just knew I wanted it to be slightly wider than the yellow. I didn't want them to be the exact same width. It's too kind of matchy-matchy. It gives more visual interest if this one is a slightly wider length here. So I have that, and then I'll probably do the same thing if I can grab it here. I'll probably do the same thing where I will tear the end. There we go. And then it'll either have to be that way or I'll switch it around and it'll be on the inside like so. Not exactly sure which one I like better. And I did notice that there is kind of a tan here in the man's shoes and then on the bar stool. So I might try to find a scrap piece of tan paper and just do a very small matting outline, maybe like 1/8 of an inch, and see how that looks. So I pulled out my stash of brown scraps here, hoping to find something that really was just a plain background, but I found something interesting instead. I have this scrap of paper, and I'm not even sure why I kept this, because normally this probably wouldn't be my type of pattern, but it's a very vintage looking pattern. And I kind of like that feeling of old world, possibly older culture. I like that idea to go with this. Now, I can't use the whole thing. The pattern's way too wild, but I'm wondering if I do stack them kind of like this and then overlay them with this being a lot shorter than the other two, if that would work. I'm seriously considering it. I could also go this way and have this go across the top and then have these overlap. I like the other way better because you get to see more of the pattern, but it's a larger piece, so it gives me some options. So I think I am going to use it. It's just a matter of how. I've decided to use it this way, and I'm going to put everything up to the top edge in terms of the paper. This will be situated down a little bit lower, and then I may even trim off a little bit more of this widthwise so that it leaves me more room to journal down here. So I'll adjust the papers accordingly, but I want to put them in that configuration and then still have white space for journaling. All right, so I have those adhered down to the background. They're ready to go. And I think at first I was thinking I wanted to do this and overlap some of the yellow. Now I think I might actually want to do this because it takes up more of that top portion. You still get to see a nice pattern, and then you don't lose any of this, but I could still put an embellishment of some kind, like right here maybe. So I think I'm going to adhere it there before I change my mind again. So I'm going to do it right about there, I think. All right, there we go. So when I was thinking about what else to do here, I was thinking back to the book itself, and really the whole thing takes place in a bar. The main character is sitting at the bar, reminiscing about his life, but then he goes into all these flashbacks. That's how you learn about what has happened in his life up to this point. But he's drinking the whole time. The premise is he's going to give 5 toasts to different people that have influenced his life in some way. So I pulled out these stickers thinking, oh, he's at a bar drinking, whatever, but none of these really go. Maybe this one. But he drinks beer, and then I think he has wine, if I remember right, and then some champagne. And so I was trying to get something that would look like that, and I don't know that these are the right fit or that they're the right color really, other than maybe that one. So I think I have some stamps that might work. So I may stamp some things, color them in, and then cut them out, but we'll see. I did find this stamp set. This is an older one from Technique Tuesday, and I think I want to use this one here. So it's perfect. It's got beer in it, and then probably this one as well that says drink up. I might try to work both of those in. If you are interested in this one, this is from 2016. It's quite old, Technique Tuesday, and it's called Planner Chow Down. No idea if they're still selling it, but that's who makes it in case you want it. I did my stamping there, and I chose to use StazOn ink so that when I colored it in, it wouldn't smear, and that worked out great. So I have that. This is the marker that I chose. It's from Close to My Heart, and it's called Honey. Not sure if they make this color. I haven't ordered from them in a long time, but that's the one that I used. So I have punched this out, and I actually used my 3/4 inch circle punch from EK Success. I think I bought this one off Amazon, maybe, but I had some other sizes and needed somewhat smaller than what I had, so I went with a 3/4, and that's perfect. So now I have this, and I think there's this little circle there. I was thinking at first maybe I would cover it up, but it's not quite over far enough as far as I would like it, so I think I'm actually going to do that. All right, I have done the other stamping. I did use the drink up stamp and put it right there. And then I think I am still going to use this sticker, and I'm going to kind of put it down here, I think. I didn't want them so close together up here, so I think maybe down here, kind of maybe overlapping this yellow, but to kind of fill this space a little bit. And then journaling will be here. And actually, one thing I wanted to point out about this. Originally, I thought I would do journaling lines for myself, but on the other side of this, I have a piece of flare on there, which makes this side rather bumpy. And so trying to make a straight line here for journaling would probably be difficult. So I'm choosing not to. I will just freehand my journaling once I'm ready to write something. When I went to apply the sticker, I decided I didn't like it down here. It was too much yellow kind of in a row. So I decided to do it in this corner, and I will just journal around it, which is totally fine by me. And that might be all that I do with this one, because I don't know that it needs much else. Really, it just needs my journaling, and I don't want it super fancy. The story isn't fancy. It's very kind of down home and sad life experiences as well as good life experiences, but I think this is fitting for the book, so this one's done. Another one finished for my TN about books. Thanks for watching.